Hi, everybody. This is Adrienne Shales at Hope of the Generations Church in Be in Health. And we have a very special guest in our studio today. This is Taylor Smith, Thomaston's Economic Development Coordinator. Hi,
Hey, Adrienne. Thank you for
Taylor.
having me.
Absolutely. So we are here today because over the years, we have had so many people after they've come to the For My Life retreat say, I think I want to move here. They like the city. They like the quietness of the area. They are excited about maybe slowing down a bit, but there's still a lot of vibrant opportunities in our community and in our church. So we're bringing Taylor in today to talk about all the amazing opportunities that are happening in Thomaston. So kick it off, Taylor. Tell us what's going on in our town.
A lot is going on in the city of Thomaston. So I'll take a second and kind of introduce myself, introduce my background, introduce the city of Thomaston to you all, and let you know where Thomaston has been and where Thomaston is going moving forward. So like Adrienne said, my name is Taylor Smith. I'm the Economic Development Coordinator for the city of Thomaston, Georgia. I was born and raised in Thomaston, and I moved away in 2015, and I went to the University of West Georgia to pursue my bachelor's degree, and I finished my master's in public administration last May, and I was able to move back home and take over the position of Economic Development Coordinator. In this capacity, I am over the Main Street program, Downtown Development Authority, our local Historic Preservation Commission. I'm also in charge of all of our city events, as well as economic development, business recruitment, new business development, and then any special project that the city manager, Russell Thompson, wants to throw on my plate as well. Growing up in Thomaston, it was good and bad. When Thomaston was a massive mill town. At one time, when Martha Mills was built in the early 1900s, Martha Mills was a 1,000,000 square foot mill and the largest mill in North America
And I'll
when it
throw
was
in,
built.
for those not familiar with Thomaston, this was a textile mill producing textiles
Yes.
for all of America, and some were even
B.F.
exported.
Goodrich. So Martha Mills was actually in conjunction with B.F. Goodrich, and you have the Silvertown Mill Village that was also developed by B.F. Goodrich. All of the homes and all of the services in the area around Silvertown were built by B.F. Goodrich to support the mill. So this is your modern day Amazon that came in back in the 1920s, built a factory, and then built the community to serve the factory. And it was a staple in Thomaston. Thomaston was a massive textile community, and when NAFTA was signed in the early 90s, the writing was on the wall. And I grew up here in the early 90s, and then to the early 2000s, we lost 4,000 jobs in a town of 10,000 people, and it was absolutely devastating and decimating for this community. As a young child at the time, I witnessed the transformation of the community go from this vibrant, one of America's 100 best small towns, to a community with a lack of hope, a lack of opportunity, a lack of vision, a lack of, just a lack of opportunity for children to be successful and have a life here and have a career here. Even myself, when I left in 2015, I never in a million years imagined that I would be coming back to Thomaston. And I can say now that I can't imagine being anywhere else. There is nothing but opportunity here. There is nothing but hope here. And we have a great chance to really make a transformation in this community and improve the quality of life for myself and my family and anyone else that visits or lives in the community.
That's great. Well, then nobody can speak better on it than you. You grew up here. You saw it in its heyday. You saw it fall. You left and thought, I'm probably not ever coming back here.
Exactly.
And then here you are. And
I'm grateful. I'm
yes.
grateful that I was able to leave. I think that definitely helped shape my experiences, had helped shape my vision. I think a lot of people that live in Thomaston and only experience Thomaston, they walk around in sort of tunnel vision, and they only have a one-track mind with the opportunities that exist in Thomaston. Once you leave Thomaston and you live elsewhere, not just in a different city in Georgia, but you live in a different state, you actually realize, wait, Thomaston isn't that bad. Thomaston is very centrally located. We're an hour south of Atlanta, 45 minutes from Macon, 45 minutes from Columbus. Those are the three largest metro areas in the state of Georgia. We're an hour south of Hartsville-Jackson, the airport in Atlanta. We are a skip and a jump from a lot of very urban areas, but it's small here. It's big enough where you've got opportunities, but it's small enough where you still know Miss Jones down the street. If she sees something that is a little weary, she's going to call you and let you know, hey,
Yep.
Taylor, this is what's going on. And we appreciate that. We love the fact that this is a hometown. You know, you move to this community and you don't meet a stranger. And I
That's
think
right.
that's what makes this place special.
Right. And I think that's what many of our For My Life retreat participants notice
Mhm.
is how friendly and warm this town is.
It is.
I want to tell you something I read recently from USA Today, March 3rd,
Okay.
2022. As the COVID-19 pandemic enters its third year and remote work becomes more firmly rooted, Americans are rethinking where they want to live. For the most part, they're thinking smaller.
Yep.
A growing share is moving to less populated metro areas or small semi-rural towns. Have you seen this happening?
Most definitely. I mean, you know, we received our census results last year for the 2020 census, and for the first time in nearly 3 decades, Thomaston had a positive population increase, about 7%. And I'll be honest, I think those numbers were undercounted some. I think realistically, our census numbers had us at 9,816 people within the city. I think it's a little closer to 10,000, 11,000 people. And then that data is, 2 years old. So today, I think we're a little closer to 11, 12,000 people. Again, I go back to Thomaston's location, centrally located, an hour south of Atlanta, 45 minutes from Macon, 45 minutes from Columbus, and Noonan, LaGrange. These are all more urban metro areas around the area, but they're 45 minutes from Thomaston. So we're seeing a lot of that growth here. We're seeing a lot of people that can live in Thomaston, and with COVID and with this remote work, ability, you can work in Atlanta, you can commute to Atlanta 1 or 2 days a week, but then you can live in Thomaston. You can get 3 times the amount of house that you would have in Atlanta in Thomaston. You don't have to deal with the traffic or the crime of these larger cities. And again, it's that quaint hometown, small town that people they're searching for nowadays.
Well, I'm looking at another article I read that backs up what you're saying. This is in governing.com, October 25th, 2021. A number of Americans have found that the big urban lifestyle is no longer something they crave and are joining the millions who live in small cities across the nation. The COVID-driven suburbanization is not new. Studies have shown that city growth was slowing down even before the coronavirus pandemic began. There are a variety of reasons why people move: education,
Mhm.
safety, affordability, and space.
I went to a training yesterday down in Tifton, Georgia, and it was rural innovation, helping small business entrepreneurs be successful in rural communities. And we talked about the growth patterns that we're seeing in some of these rural Georgia areas, and it goes back to affordability. It goes back to outdoor recreation accessibility. It goes back to vibrant downtowns, and it goes back to accessibility to broadband. And these are all staples that we are trying to address in the city of Thomaston.
Yes.
We were just, Upson County was just awarded a $4.4 million grant to expand broadband across the county. We did a master plan for downtown, and we've been working on facade grant improvements in downtown Thomaston, as well as restoring murals and just bringing vibrancy and life back into downtown Thomaston. We did a market analysis to try to identify opportunities for business development. Affordability. We talk about housing. Housing is a huge opportunity in Thomaston
Yes.
because we have a lack of housing, choices that we would like to build on. So yeah, all of the information is very valid, and we're seeing it every day.
We know people are so talented.
They are.
They have hidden talents. And I know people who have thought about coming here. They weren't sure maybe where their talents would fit. Maybe they had businesses outside of the state. They didn't see a need for that in this town. And so this market analysis that you did probably has some information that would let people know where their talents may fit in if they
Yeah,
come.
most
Could
definitely.
you share
Actually,
some of that?
I brought it with me, so I would love to talk about this. In the past, when people have tried to sell the idea of starting businesses in Thomaston, they focused on just Thomaston. What can Thomaston support? They've gone as far as to say, okay, what can Thomaston and Upson County support? But they haven't really looked at it in a sense of, okay, Thomaston is the largest city in the 7 county radius. Thomaston has the Walmart. Thomaston has the Belk. They have the Home Depot. They have your national chain restaurants. When you look 7 counties out, there are 140,000 people in those 7 counties where Thomaston's the biggest city. So they're coming and they're coming and spending their money here because they don't have the offerings in their towns.
Right.
So when we look at that, we have a $136 million trade gap within a 20-mile radius. And a trade gap essentially is where your supply isn't enough to meet the demand. So we can kind of break those down into, where we have actual opportunities. So $53.4 million gap in large merchandise stores. So those are more like your warehouse stores, your Costco, stuff like that. $30 million in full service restaurants. I think I can attest for downtown. I would love to see some more restaurant activity in downtown Thomaston, a nice upscale restaurant where I can go get a steak and take my girlfriend out for a nice dinner. $18 million in clothing stores, including $13 million in family apparel, $3 million in women's apparel, boutiques, men's clothing. We don't have a single men's clothing store in the community other than Belk and Walmart. And growing up here, I remember Greer's Men's Store was a place in downtown Thomaston. Daniel's Men's Store was a place in downtown Thomaston. So that's something we would love to see come back. $10 million in furniture and home furnishing stores. We have a couple of local furnishing stores like Rescue Me and Lazy J Mercantile and New Life Home Restorations. These are some great, that modern southern home furnishings.
Well, I'll go in there on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go back a week later, and half the stuff is already purchased and gone, or has tags on it that said it's been rescued. It's out of here.
Rescue
so they
Me
fast.
is a staple in downtown Thomaston. They took over the old O.W. Jones mercantile store, which again was a staple for over almost a century in downtown Thomaston. And Lane Coggins and Deanne Avery purchased that building, and they started Rescue Me. And when it started, it was more like consignment-based stuff, but it has evolved tremendously. They are actually celebrating their 10-year anniversary this month, and it is a hotbed for that home furnishing. Everyone wants to have that southern modern look nowadays, and it draws in people from Atlanta, from Peachtree City, from Macon, from Columbus. People coming up 19 that runs all the way from South Georgia, Albany, Americus, all the way up to Atlanta, and people will stop by Rescue Me in downtown Thomaston and just to check it out. They have a lot of locally made items. Georgia grown is a big push, and then they actually just purchased a building on the other side of the square, and they are going to be opening in a new venture called Upper Crust in the coming months.
That's exciting.
We are very excited about it.
Well, people love to make shopping a day. Like they'll drive 45 minutes, make a day out of it. And someone told me they were at in our downtown area, and they ran into an old college friend.
Small world.
Who had driven an hour to shop in our town.
It's a very small world. And again, nowadays people would much rather come to these small towns that are unique and authentic. People are searching for that authenticity. That kind of it gets lost in these bigger cities. It's that, hey y'all, it's that where you remember someone's name. You don't have that in the hustle and bustle of these big cities, and that's what makes Thomaston special. But going back to our retail gap, we have opportunities for shoe stores, jewelry stores, hobby, toy, and game stores, supermarkets, cosmetic beauty supply stores, specialty foods, non-alcoholic beverage bars, so like smoothie shops, loaded teas, boba teas. I mean, all of the things that, we have such an influx of people moving in the community that are used to having these big city amenities, access to a nice Smoothie King where you can go and get myself, and go and get a nice protein shake after the gym or a loaded tea.
Do you like boba tea?
I do.
Okay. My kids wanted boba tea. We drove an hour to LaGrange just to get boba tea. And then we got pizza, and then we looked in the stores. But I think people would drive here for some of these fun things because they're not offered.
I might have a boba tea coming soon to downtown Thomaston.
Oh, wow.
Got something in the work. I told you it's been busy. I will say in the past 3 months, I've probably had 30 development meetings with people either interested in starting businesses or people interested in buying buildings in downtown Thomaston.
So, now's the time.
It is.
This is ground floor level.
It is. And the great thing about this retail supply gap, which is available on our economic development webpage, it goes as far as actually break down where we could see sales growth and how much square footage of new buildings could be supporting of new businesses. For expanding dining and entertainment in downtown Thomaston, it says that we could support an additional 18 to 20,000 square foot of new restaurant space in downtown Thomaston. If we want to move into the specialty home furnishings, it says there are now 8 businesses occupying nearly 40,000 square feet, but we could support an additional 20 to 30,000 square feet of new business in the specialty home furnishing. Women's apparel related items, we could support an additional 10 to 11,000 square feet of new apparel in downtown Thomaston. So we have massive opportunities for new business growth. And what the city has done on our end to try to help push that, we actually applied for rural zone designation last year through the Department of Community Affairs with the state of Georgia. And what the rural zone is, it is a state tax credit program that offers state tax credits for building acquisition, building rehabilitation, and job creation. The only caveat is that any project has to create 2 full-time equivalent jobs. So you hire 4 part-time people, there's your 2 full-time equivalent jobs. And the big push behind this was there's a city in South Georgia, Bainbridge, and Bainbridge actually, they established the rural zone. They were able to land the designation, and within 3 years, they had 37 new businesses, 160 new jobs, and over $20 million invested in their downtown. Wow. And when you hear those numbers and you think about how big of an impact that could have in downtown Thomaston, I truly believe 5 years from now, we will see a dramatic transformation in this community of both public and private investment into downtown and trying to curate that space and provide that space that is, conducive to small business growth. And again, supports the data that you're talking about where you have people moving here. We want to provide them an environment in downtown Thomaston and throughout the city that is going to support that.
So there are scalable plans to do what you're talking about. Like other cities have done this and revitalized.
Yes.
This isn't just like we have some ideas. They're already in motion. You talked to me about, you learned about R&D.
Rip off and duplicate. I went to my first Georgia Downtown Conference last August, and the one biggest thing I took away from that is that, within the city of Thomaston, we had a wheel, and the wheel was rolling when the mill was here. When the mill closed, the wheel stopped rolling. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We don't have to create a new wheel here. We just have to get this wheel rolling again. And so if other communities are doing things that we can, throw onto our wheel to help it move, let's do it. Let's rip it off. Let's duplicate it. Let's make it fit, tailor it to Thomaston. But let's do it. So one thing I took from that was we painted fire hydrants, something a way for us to connect with the local school system and get the kids involved. We painted 24 hydrants last fall as a part of Georgia Cities Week, and we are painting 48 hydrants this spring in preparation for our Art and Soul Fest. That's great. Yeah, it's a great opportunity. Again, we have so many talented, you spoke on it, we have so many talented individuals that are kind of just hiding in the woodworks. And I think one of my big goals is to try to offer Thomaston as a palette. Right. Let Thomaston be the palette. Come show your work here. Come show your skills and abilities. Share that with the community, and let's help build the future generation of creators in this community and show that Thomaston can be that artist hub that, really supports anyone and everyone that wants to become a maker, become a welder, become an artist, become a woodworker, become a painter, become a sculptor. I mean, again, so many talented people in this community, and we just want to show people that you can follow your passions and follow your dreams, and you can do that.
There's a place here.
In Thomaston, Georgia.
Let's talk about housing. We have some opportunities for housing.
Tons of opportunities.
So let's do a call out for anyone who wants to come help with housing. Let's look at what is needed.
So I want to talk about our little Thriving Thomaston flyer that I work with Electric Cities of Georgia to create. There is in my opinion, there's a misconception with Thomaston. Again, I grew up here, and the perception, once the mill's closed, it's a dead town. It's dying. There's no hope. There's no opportunity. There's no growth. Nothing's happening. So one of the first things I realized is that we've got to figure out a way to change that mindset. And to me, the best way to do it is through data. Data is fact. Right. So I worked with our building official, John Baxter, to pull permit data. Tell me where we've seen new businesses constructed. Tell me where we've seen new homes constructed. Tell me where we've seen, residential improvements, commercial improvements. Over the last 3-4 years, are we seeing growth? Am I just, right, thinking this in my head, or is it actually happening? And, some of the actual permitting figures, 2018, 2019, we had 0 new residential homes constructed in the city of Thomaston. We had 1 new commercial building constructed in the city of Thomaston. 2020, 2021, we had 43 new residential homes constructed in the city of Thomaston, with 8 new commercial buildings constructed in the city limits, which again, they're selling like hotcakes. We have about 20 homes for sale in the entire county right now, and that's a county of 30,000 people. I moved back last June, and I've yet to find something that would work for me. I think one of our biggest gaps is a market rate rental apartment complex. And that's that, $800 to $1,200 price range. For someone like myself, I have no problem paying that for a one-bedroom apartment with amenities, something that's gated, something that has a pool, something that's, well lit, with access to the Highway 19 corridor. Realistically, you could build a 50 unit complex right now. It'd be fully leased tomorrow because there is such a need for new housing in this community. I know you guys have people that move here or are looking to move here, and they can't move here yet because we don't have houses available. New construction is a big need, but we also have a lot of needs when it comes to rehabilitation. I go back to the mill town. A lot of those mill houses that were built alongside the mills, when the mills closed, those houses were kind of left to sit and fall into disrepair. On the city side, we're doing our best to enforce code. Code enforcement is a big issue that we want to push and get a lot of these houses that are looking rough back into bad shape and back onto the tax base. But it's opportunities for developers to come in and take those and flip them and use them as rental property or to sell them.
Right. Well, people need homes to live in.
We do.
And they need land to run around in. We've got Bluff, which is managed by our county.
It is. It is a beautiful recreation facility right there on the Flint River. I grew up going to Sparrow Bluff with my dad. We would float the river from Sparrow Bluff down to 36th Bridge. They've added some cabins out there. They've got some RV spots out there. Beautiful hiking trails, mountain biking trails, and they've got a master plan for Sparrow Bluff as well as they're looking to invest in that facility. In downtown, we're looking to build a downtown farmers market this year. Hopefully by the end of the year that will be in place, and it's going to have a downtown restroom facility. We're partnering with Heart and Soul, which is a nonprofit in the community, to establish a little lounge area out there, put some art out there, add an additional 20 to 30 parking spots for downtown because, again, we see the influx of visitors in the community, so we want to have nice, well-lit, safe parking for them. I've talked to the city manager about maybe even doing some charging stations at Grace Generation Park in town, and then once we get the downtown market built, doing some there. So we're trying to again build this environment that will be conducive for growth moving forward for the future of Thomaston. We talked about the identity. Thomaston was this mill town, and one of the big things that when I moved back was how can we shed that image, because Thomaston is not a mill town anymore. We're not a mill town. We're not a peach community anymore. We were a mica community. Hundreds of mica mines back in the day. Mule capital. We were the second largest mule trading capital behind St. Louis at one time. This little town in central Georgia. But again, that was 100 years ago. Who are we today? And so with that, I did a massive branding effort because I didn't have a logo. How am I able to sell the community and sell what are we doing in Thomaston, the opportunity, without anything to tie back to?
Right.
And with our logo and branding, a big thing for me was I've seen a lot of cities come in and hire these outside groups to come and tell you, hey, this is who you are. This is what your brand needs to be. I don't like that. I don't think it's anyone's place to come into our community and tell us who we are and what makes Thomaston special. So I did something that was all local. I worked with local artists. I worked with a local graphic designer to come up with our new brand and logo. In the day, we tied in a Thomaston Peaches label into it, again, to pay homage to the fact that we were a huge peach community back in the day. We tied in a water tower that was at the old Cotton Alliance warehouse that ties back into our textile heritage. And then the state of Georgia, but our slogan, "This is home." For me, I moved back because this is home, and we talked about it. When people move here, they've never experienced a place like this where they feel like they're at home. But that's also a play on words for us. It's not just this is home. This is, what is Thomaston to you? To me, this is community. This is opportunity. This is future. This is Piggy Park. This is Big Chick.
It's a safe place.
This is a safe place.
Yes.
This Thomaston can be whatever you want it to be, but at the end of the day, this is home.
Right.
And it can be a home for anyone and everyone.
Well, when you were meeting with the pastors as we were preparing for this time, two of our pastors, with not even knowing that was
The logo, the branding,
the
yep.
new logo. Separately, they said, well, this is home. And you're like,
Yep.
that's it. This is home.
And it resonates. It resonates with anyone and everyone that either lives in this community, whether you grew up here or you moved here. You know, you come to a place like this and you meet these people and you realize, wow, I've been missing out my entire life because this is a hometown.
Yeah.
This is a community that will accept you and will work with you and will integrate you. And I mean, that's why I'm here with you. Like, I want you guys to be a part of this community. I want anyone that wants to have a place in Thomaston to feel free that you can come here and have a place.
Right. Well, thank you. I know one other aspect that has people coming here with kids is education. And we have an amazing school system in town. We also have here at Hope of the Generations Church Overcomers Academy, which is our pre-K through 12 school. And we have amazing things happening at the academy. We teach the For My Life principles. We integrate those into the academy. The families that come and have their kids in the academy, they come to our church as well. So we're not just educating kids and sending them back into a home that maybe is not doing well. We want to help the whole family.
Yes.
So what we do is we have, the parents participate. They've been through For My Life. The parents, are bringing their kids to church service. So we're able to raise a community of believers that are overcomers. And that's so important with all the things going on in this world. We want to teach our students how to overcome any adversity that comes their way, how to overcome even, the life bumps that they have, how to overcome sin in their lives, because the enemy is not fair. He even picks on children and youth and teens. So we teach them how to be overcomers. So for anyone thinking of coming here with students, we have our school available, and we also have our Thomaston
School
system.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So Thomaston Upson School System, Upson Lee
Yes.
is what it's called. We're a single school system, so there are not multiple high schools, there are not multiple middle schools, multiple elementary schools. There's one high school, one middle school, one elementary, one primary school, a pre-K school. And like you said, we're also seeing an influx of more opportunities when it comes to private education, where you have a little more hands-on, which I think is critical. I mean, I know for myself, when I was looking for colleges, I realized I didn't want to go to a UGA or a Georgia Tech or a Georgia State where I would just be a number. It was very critical for me to go to a place where I would be able to know my professors and feel like I had a place there. I drove an hour and a half north to University of West Georgia, and I had that. I had an amazing experience, and I've been able to come back again to Thomaston, and I have friends that also went to University of West Georgia that have come back to Thomaston, and we're investing in our community. But I mean, we talk about location, you talk about educational opportunities. An hour and a half from here, within an hour and a half driving, you have probably 8 or 9 public universities in the Georgia state system, as well as 3 or 4 private colleges. I mean, so there are tons of opportunities when it comes to education in this region.
Well, in Georgia, we practice dual enrollment for our high school juniors and seniors here at Overcomers Academy, and it happens even in the public school system. And so our students are dual enrolling with local colleges. There's one 20 minutes away, Gordon State College, amazing college.
I went there. I did some of my undergrad before I transferred to West Georgia. I did about 30 hours at Gordon, and worked in Thomaston. And so Gordon's a great little 2-year. They've got a couple 4-year programs, but a lot smaller, and it's close by. I was able to live at home and go to college and get a lot of my core classes done before I decided to make that leap and actually move out of Thomaston and move to campus and go to West Georgia. But, dual enrollment's a great opportunity. You have Gordon as well as Southern Crescent, and Southern Crescent is our local technical school, and they have a contract with Gordon. A lot of their core classes are transferable to Gordon, so you can take your core classes here at our local tech school, and they'll transfer to the 4-year university.
Right, and our Southern Crescent Tech actually has a nursing program now.
They do. I will say Southern Crescent is looking for ways to create new programs, partner with industries to create new programs that will serve the future. Workforce development is a big issue that we're trying to address. I think working throughout the country, workforce development is a major issue. And again, we go back to misconceptions, and I think with the fact that we were a mill town and kids grew up seeing pictures of what it was like to work in the mills, and so they have this perception of this is what it's like working in a manufacturing facility. And nowadays, it's so technical and so automated. It's nothing like what it was 100 years ago. So we're trying to develop programs that can show kids, wait, it's not what you think. You have a lot of actual technical skill that goes into these positions, and you can come in and with good work ethic, you can make very good money. You have opportunities for growth and opportunities for advancement within the company. And we need that. We need local kids that want to come in and take the reins and be a part of the community, invest.
I was on Adult Leadership Upson, that class, and we tour different parts of the industry. We get hands-on experience seeing what's happening in the ag community and the industry community.
It's a great program, yeah.
And so what was so fascinating, I had no idea that's what those large warehouses were, all that was housed. What are some of our major industries here?
Quad Graphics is one of our big, they're a magazine print manufacturer. So they're gonna print your Time, your Sports Illustrated, stuff like that. Standard Textiles, we still have a textile company that does that prints, or doesn't print, but they make sheets and bedding. They had a article, well, it was actually a video on not Good Morning America, but 60 Minutes. It's been a couple years back, where Standard Textile, they produce all of the towels for Marriott. And they're produced in Thomaston, Georgia. We have Renews, which they paint John Deere tractor parts and mower parts. We have several other industries at the industrial park. We have a biorefinery. We'll have to get Kyle Fletcher in here. That's our Industrial Development Authority leader, to talk on the industry. But we have, I think, one of the biggest ones that kind of goes unnoticed is Tidal Wave. Tidal Wave Auto Spa, which is a massive company with over 100 locations right now in the nation. They're looking to double in size this year. They're headquartered in downtown Thomaston, and they're bringing in, high-paying jobs for college graduates, accounting jobs, accounts payable jobs, engineering jobs, architectural jobs. These are good jobs that will again improve the quality of life and that median income in the city of Thomaston.
Right. Our daughter's an intern there.
That's what they were telling me. That's what Jennifer was telling me last week when I met with her and Scott. And, we're very appreciative of Scott Blackstock. He is a local guy who owned Tire and Auto Master at one time and decided to work his way into the car wash business. And he has been extremely successful. And we are extremely grateful for him for investing in his hometown.
Right. Well, we've covered a lot, haven't we?
We have.
So at the end, you're going to see some contact information. If you want to learn more about moving here, we have some websites you can look at. We'll have Taylor Smith's email address. We have our own email address. You can always email us at info@bnhealth.com. Taylor is tsmith at
cityofThomaston.com.
cityofThomaston.com. So check out what's happening here. We have an amazing church. We love God. It's a safe place to raise your family. It's a great place to bring people are bringing even their grandparents in. My parents moved in from Texas.
We're seeing a lot of that too. The families wanted to get closer. I moved back because of that. I'm an only child. My mom was here. My grandma was here. And it was hard being away 10 hours away from my family. And I want to be in an environment, in a community where I can raise my kids and know that grandma's right down the street when I need a babysitter.
Right. We all the sports at the Civic Center growing up with kids. I loved going to those. And it wasn't just the mom and dad coming to see their kid play. It was the grandparents from both sides, aunts and uncles and brothers and sisters. So it's just really a big family community. It is.
Family is the most important thing. And again, I think it's very important for us. We want to maintain that hometown, that hometown vibe that really is special. Thomaston's a growing place, and we see that. But we are trying to be very strategic about how we grow. We have communities around us that have issues, and while Thomaston has its issues, we are working every day to address them, and we want to make sure that moving forward, the way the community grows is what's best for the community.
Right. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
We're grateful for the city of Thomaston, all that you do, all that y'all do. We're thankful for Upson County and all that they're doing. If you want more information, look in the description below. We've got contact info there. Have a great day.